Hi, Steve Blythe with J.Racenstein, and I'm here with a bunch of Unger tools, and for this segment we're going to talk mostly about handles. And the handles that are available from Unger are plentiful, and we'll talk about a little bit why they evolved. So the first handles were made out of brass, because brass is malleable and easy to work with a tool, and was pretty much what everybody was using out there to do that. So it's called old school often. And the handle is a little heavier than a stainless version of the same handle, but the brass handle is probably the #1 seller out there in the industry from us, as far as just a simple handle to use. People develop their own preference for which handle they use based upon often how they were taught or what they're using. Sometimes they'll find something along the way, but when they learned how was usually where they start with what their favorite's going to be. So you can get some simple handle like this in stainless steel, and in this case brass, and then you start to look at handles that have a rubberized finish. So here's a simple handle with just a rubber part on it, and you'll notice how short these handles are. They're really better. I have a larger hand, so they're really better for someone with a smaller hand and a light touch. So the handle in this instance is held in the hand. This ergo handle you can see here is already longer than the first traditional handles that they came out with or without a rubber grip. And it's a little better on my hand. I like it nice, but they do have an XL version that's another inch for people with even larger hands in that instance. The handles can either be standard screw together, as this brass is, or they can be quick release. Here's a little clip. There's a clip on the back of this one. There's a clip on the back of the Ninja to allow you to release the item, and then back to a standard screw together type of a handle. So the handle can be have a standard mounting method with the screws and the nuts, or it can have a quick release handle method where there's going to be some sort of a device on it to allow you to release the channel without having to use a tool. And here it is on the Ninja. So that would allow you to change the channel easier. It's also going to have either a clipped or a clipless feature to it. So this traditional one requires a clipped rubber, where the rubber is held on with clips on the ends. The stainless steel one has the little teeth to allow you to use a clipless, which means when you open it up, the rubber can be moved without having to remove an end clip. So typically the stainless steel from Unger channel doesn't have clips, although you can put clips on that rubber yourself. Alright, and then their end clips for the Unger are built into the end Ninja. So you'll get into dealing with the throat of the different handles, and what that means is how the interface between the rubber and your hand to the glass fits. So I'm going to bring up a piece of glass, and we're going to talk about that. The standard handle in this instance, you're going to have a certain amount of clearance for your hand to the glass based upon the throat of that for closing out. And when the sill is not very deep, you can get right to the bottom for part of your closeout. But if the sill is wider, and I'm going to use this bucket and a belt, and as you come down to the bottom, your hand is going to start to interfere, and it's going to cause you to have trouble closing out. Sometimes that sill or plate is only on the bottom, and you'll be able to come around and close out this direction, all right, without any trouble. But when it's thick on both sides, having a little bit extra throat, like the Ninja does, is going to allow you to come in and get around that and close out simpler without worrying about interfering with the handle. So you can see here the difference in the throat. There's a bunch of clearance underneath the Ninja. So The handles also are going to be intended primarily for your use in your hand or a use on a pole. And so we'll talk about that in a moment. Alright, so a straight handle is really meant to be used in your hand. And they added the rubber to the metal ones because of the soapy water. This would slide out, a metal one would slide out of your hand, and the rubber would give you a little better holding on to it. Give you a little better grip for holding on to it. And then they started a few years back going to a ergonomic handle that allows your hand to feel nicer and last longer without just being a little more ergonomic. These handles that are fixed are really meant for holding in your hand to perform work on the glass up close and personal. They can be placed on a pole. Now, some handles will have a locking hole here to be placed on a locking cone to keep that handle from being knocked off if you hit a sill on the top of the pole, where on these older style it's really just a friction fit where you got to hold it on there pretty tight. So they're rarely used on a pole, but you can, in a pinch, throw it on there and use a standard handle on that pole. I'm going to break that glass. The Ninja is a nice handle, but it really is best when used on a pole. It has a swiveling feature to allow you to swivel it on the pole, and a locking hole for locking onto the pole and then releasing. And one of the more interesting things for pole work is a 0 degree. You can see the rubber is straight up and down versus on an angle. And a 0 degree squeegee is used for pole work to get around obstacles. So the pole will come in over your obstacle, and then you will squeegee on the glass from some number of feet away. And this could be possibly over a desk in inside stuff, but mostly for exterior work, outside work, over bushes or other obstacles where you need to stand a few feet away. And the guys that get good at this can actually swivel this down and close out from, I've seen people do it 20 feet away. Typically though, this is 5 to 8 feet away, over a hedge, over some sort of an obstacle, that you use your 0 degree squeegee to get in and get to that exterior window by having that go straight in.